Hi everyone, it's K-Red, and welcome to my 2025 Peaceful Patterns Weekly Challenge. So this one, I believe it's pronounced Xlnt, Xlnt, excellent. That's so cute. It's by CZT Jody Genovese, and it is a gorgeous variation, completely similar to Sand Swirl and yet completely different. I love it. Without any delay, let's get started on Xlnt. All right, so let's go ahead and get right started. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to start with 5 circles in a pattern, just like that. And then Jody, on the step outs, does it as 2 steps. We're going to go ahead and combine it so it'll fit on our tiny card. But we are just going to do that S formation that we do so often and combine them. The easiest way to do these is you make kind of an S around one and then the other. And I recommend turning your card, and that way you know they're all going the same way. And they'll all match perfectly. And that's all there is to step 1. Super nice and easy. So let's go ahead and repeat that. So we're going to do our 5 circles. These weren't very much of a circle, but I think we'll be able to make do with them. Then we're going to do our S's. Turning our card as we go. And then we're going to go ahead and switch over to our red pen. And for me, it's a little bit easier if I start on this bottom one, so that's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to come, aura, that's not my red pen. I picked up the same pen twice. My goodness gracious. So we're going to come and we're going to aura right around. And I'm going to do 4 of them, just to the top. Trying to be cautious and make our auras neat and orderly. We can make our auras neat and orderly. Then we're going to turn the card just a little bit so I can make my drawing easy. Well, let's go ahead and repeat it from to number 3. We're going to do our 5 circles again. We're going to add our original S's. We're going to go ahead and add our first auras. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then now for step 2, we're going to go to the next one up. And we're going to aura this. But rather than stopping on top, we're going to aura it all the way down. And let's do 4 of those too. So an aura, being purposeful and careful, always difficult, trying to keep them the same width throughout, but the pattern, once you get them all going, will be relatively forgiving. And then you're going to continue that all the way around the whole thing. All right, so let's go ahead and do that one more time. Let's get one more example, one more step in. And we're going to do our S's. Step 1. Hope you're all doing well. I can't believe the number of patterns we have learned together. It is really growing. We're going to move on to step 2 where we leave it mid-air. And then we're going to do step 3, which is the next one, but it goes all the way down. Do you see the similarity this is to Sand Swirl? It's a great one to relax on. So then we're going to turn my card. I'm going to do the same thing here. 4 of them. 1, 2, 3. I keep closing in on that corner. I think I visually see that number 4 and start to be worried about it. There's no need to worry about it, but I was. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then now for step 5, what we are going to do is we are going to come back and we're going to finish this aura, and I'll usually start over just a little bit and take it all the way around. Now the reason you don't want to do it at first is you won't know where to end, because you won't know where that one ends. And that will finish it. And you can do as many times around as you want, as thin as you want. It can be bigger and smaller. It can expand. It has a lot of variations. Now in the peaceful pattern, they did it with just 5, but you can add on more. So like we could then connect these and do more and more and more. But for today, let's do one last one so we can have a good sample to shade with. Let's do our 5 circles, and I'm able to make them just a little bit bigger since I have a little bit more room now. And I think for this one, let's go ahead and do a shade in on them with a little light spot on them. Make it nice. Always make your light spot a little bigger than you think you might want it ultimately, because you can always change it. So now that we have our 5 circles, let's go ahead and start with our S's. It doesn't matter which circle you start with to add these in. Just turn your paper and stay consistent. They can be as curvy as you would like. I think they look great when there's a lot of curve in them. And they'll look just like that. Obviously, we could have even had 2 more if we wanted to. You can have as many as you want. You can add some that are way up high and out. That makes a very interesting shape. But from here, I'm going to start on the bottom right, and I'm going to do an aura. And I'm going to stop because I don't know how far it's going to go. Let's do it again. Now these are going to take just a little while for me to draw. Should I do 3 or 4? What do you think? We'll go ahead and we'll do a 4th one. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to fast forward through some of this drawing and turn on a little bit of music, and then I'll see you right back when we get back up to where we're going to do number 4. Alrighty, so that gets us through steps 1 through 3, and then now for 4, I'm going to turn the card to where it feels comfortable. And then we're going to continue this line. Like I said, I always start softly on it and then continuing down, and it'll help you not have as much of a start-stop on that. So very soft, barely touchy, not at all, and then it goes down. There you go. One of her variations I thought was great. I'm going to maybe do it in some pencil, so that we can kind of see what it was, is she also went and made great shapes like this in here. And I just thought that was so cute. I thought that I would go ahead and add them in pencil, so that when I look at these in a year from now, I'll know that it's a variation and an idea, but not part of the original tangle. It's almost like a circle behind it. So, speaking of pencil, how should we shade this? I got myself a 4B pencil, one of my favorite shaders, and I typically like for there to be some shade where things come in and go out. So let's do that. And it really helps play up that over, under kind of thing. When I do the pencil, a lot of times it's mostly just about getting some graphite down on the card. Where I put it and where I want it to live will be usually determined by the tortillon. If you end up being just a little bit sloppy like I did, and that's on the wrong lines, you can just clean that up just a little bit. Pull it out and up on top. And there you go. What do you think? I think it's glorious. And then, just because I can't seem to let it go, let's do one more. She has one more variation on here that I just thought was so cute. Let's do a little tiny one of it. And it is with 4 circles. Just like that. So we're going to do our S's the same way. And then we will work it the exact same way. I think I'm going to go ahead and color these in as well. Having them colored in can sometimes help with your lines. So then we're going to go and around. I probably should have a little bit of a thinner pin for one this small. And I did just 3. And one more time with 3. Got all my pencils on the table and making noise. Sorry about that. And then we're going to finish this. Look how cute that is. A little bit of shading. It's so tiny, and I already have so much pencil on my tortillon. I think we can just add just a little bit like that. And that, my friends, is Xlnt in name and in character. And it is by Jody. Genovese. She is a CZT, and I of course found it on tanglepatterns.com. So here is Sand Swirl, and here is Xlnt. We're going to add our hole punch. Let's see, I'm a little worried about it today. I definitely should have done it first. There we go. I tried to make it a little off center than I normally would. And I'm going to put this in my patterns right next to Sand Swirl. And that's it for this week's Peaceful Pattern. But make sure you come back with us next week. Next week, we are doing Sand Swirl Tree. We're going to have like this little Sand Swirl trio. It's amazing. So, I'll see you next week. But until then, be safe. And thanks for being here. Bye-bye.